So our agenda today is to give you an overview of HP's IT Financial Management solution, provide a demonstration, highlight a couple different delivery options, including a Saas capability for this solution, as well as then provide the event giveaways that Zach mentioned previously. So first of all, I wanted to start off with really the opportunity and really what is the why for doing IT financial management. Many organizations already have systems such as an ERP system, what they're using today for all their corporate financials. However, there's a huge opportunity. We're seeing a lot of need in the marketplace for IT organizations to really maximize their investment in IT, as well as being able to aggregate and provide transparency into all of IT costs. So as I was mentioning before, really the opportunity here and the why IT financial management has to do with taking that typical corporate view of financial management and doing something very similar for managing the finances associated with IT. Typically, all those data elements for IT financials are in many different systems, and there needs to be a way to aggregate that, provide that transparency and visibility so that IT leaders can make effective business decisions as it relates to their investment of company funds into IT services, IT assets, as well as resources. So overall, we feel it's a great opportunity for IT leaders, IT financial leaders to really focus in on IT financial management. In terms of a goal and objective, we see one of the core objectives of IT financial management would be, number one, looking for ways to maximize your IT investments. So it would be hardcore investments in hardware and software assets. That's one area to maximize, as well as wanting to look at maximizing the performance of those assets. So how do those assets help us drive the overall performance and services that the business is looking for? Not only is it good enough to make sure that we can provide the business with their desktops, their PCs, their mobile devices, but they're looking for performance related to the services we're providing, whether that be help desk services or whether that be supply chain services to really support the core lifeblood, if you will, of the business. And then the second item here is being able to communicate to the IT the value for the associated IT investments, and be able to look at those trends and baselines on how investments are being made to drive and support business services. So those services could be customer relationship management, such as CRM. That service could be supporting the whole supply chain, or that service could be actually a cloud service, or a service to provide a Linux-based server, or that service could be a help desk service. So being able to give visibility into the cost and value associated with those services, as well as an opportunity to talk about what's the total cost of ownership of an application, what are the associated IT costs associated with a business unit, and thereby also kind of parlaying that against the overall outcomes of that business unit. And then just more of the blocking and tackling, focusing in on various IT budget categories so that an organization can understand whether money is being spent, and as well as where they're investing to maximize those investment dollars. So first thing I'd like to highlight here that we see with a lot of organizations, first is, do you understand what your current financial baseline is? We find a lot of organizations don't really have this visibility today. If they do have this visibility, they're getting that visibility through multiple spreadsheets, multiple data sources. It's very time-consuming and labor-intensive to pull that information together. As you can see on the left-hand side here, the goal and objective of your IT investments is really looking for ways to reduce the overall operations and support over time and free up funds for new IT investments that are going to generate, in one aspect, new business products. So it takes IT to build a new actually a mortgage application or a new mortgage product, or it takes IT to come up with a new, a checking account type of vehicle. As we all know, financial services uses IT to actually provide those type of products to their end customer. Or it could be a particular web store, or it could be a brand new cloud service that they want to start using. So IT can start being a business partner and looking for ways that they can maximize their portfolio of IT investments and shift it to those business investments that will generate business value and business return. And part of being able to make that shift is having visibility here into the details of operations and support, and being able to pull that information together, as you can see here, from a cost category perspective, but then also being able to have other views of that, such as aligning those cost categories to various business units. Or aligning those cost categories to supporting various business functions, such as customer relationship management. So the key that we see is the end game here is to get a visibility into your baseline, get a visibility into your IT finance investment portfolio, and that way you're equipping executives and managers with the information that they need to make more effective decisions to really help grow the business for the organization. So how do you get that baseline? I mentioned before, and getting visibility into that baseline and aggregating that data together is challenging for organizations. And that's generated this big push and trend for IT financial management. So you can see here some of the common challenges. It's taking a lot of time and effort to go to those different data sources. So for example, where do I go and pull all of the hardware software costs? Do we have an asset management solution that's tracking that from procurement all the way through to retirement of those assets? If not, do I have specific spreadsheets or someone in procurement tracking that information? So taking that information and combining it with, say, project information for all your labor costs associated with supporting applications or related to new projects and new initiatives, or it might be upgrades that you're doing to keep and maintain your current systems. So it really creates a challenge for organizations that need to apply a lot of time and effort, a lot of resources, and then there's typically multiple different solutions to pull that information together to provide that visibility so that improved business decisions can be made in the organization. So by tapping into a solution that automates that process of collecting and aggregating the financial information, then you're able to actually come up with and start reporting on some really value-added measurements that can help management and executives really improve and fine-tune their overall financial returns, as well as really improve their overall investments across the portfolio. So it might be common measures such as your spend ratio. How much are we spending on discretionary items versus non-discretionary? So non-discretionary being the compliance, the operation stuff that we're doing day to day versus the discretionary. Those will be those investments driving new solutions and offerings to our customers. Next, I want to look at costs for actually providing business service or an IT service. So I mentioned before around our CRM type of service. What does it take from an IT perspective to provide that particular service? And then you can start aligning the cost of that to the value of that particular service to the organization, and thereby communicate the value back to the business. Or it might be an IT service, such as a cloud service. You now want to provide a cloud service for various marketing organizations that are looking for cloud-based solutions, whether it be for file storage, etc. You can start providing that as a service from an internal IT service provider perspective versus having them go outside to get those services elsewhere. Some additional measures: cost per business or IT transaction, business unit costs and allocations. This is a key function that organizations are looking for as it relates to IT financial management. How can we take our IT costs, how can we allocate those out to various business units, but not just a particular percentage, but how can we actually allocate that out based on usage or consumption for that particular business unit. And then the next set of measures here are really kind of core measures to look at it from an IT perspective. If we look at budgets across the different organizations in IT, also a big factor of overall cost is application. So let's understand how we can collect and track and monitor application total cost of ownership so executives can determine which applications are providing value, which applications might be candidates to be sunset, retired, or consolidated. So overall, what we're looking for here is an opportunity to provide those financial insights to help the business improve overall performance. And we feel that HP IT Financial Management Solution provides those capabilities as part of their overall IT performance management system. So I'm going to turn it over to Mark Bradley. He's a Senior Product Manager for HP around their HP Executive Scorecard and the Financial Planning Analysis Solutions. Mark, thanks so much for joining, and I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Jon. Good introduction. Really liked the overview. Makes some great points. So the executive, part of the executive scorecard, there's a financial planning and analysis, and built into the same product, so that as you look at it from an executive perspective, you have a scorecard, and then to help balance that scorecard, show how you're meeting your goals and objectives, we have the HP Financial Planning. And within the, it falls into the IT Performance Suite, so it's part of the HP portfolio of products, and it has some automated data pulls across that. And in the event that maybe you don't have any of those systems, we can still bring data in from spreadsheets. So what you're looking at is a couple of screenshots as part of Executive Scorecard and Financial Planning Analysis. And the Financial Planning Analysis comes with a couple of core modules kind of built in. We have a Cost Explorer, and this will allow you to kind of explore the data after you've accumulated it. You have a chance to understand it and then allocate it out to different cost centers or lines of business. This Cost Explorer lets you dig in and look at the data. We also have an allocation engine. So as data comes in, you can do a plan, and then the actual, and then as data comes in, you can see how your plan's unfolding as the strategy is being executed, and then you can also show quickly, the business value on the adjustments that you're making. In addition to that, we have a budget module, so you can build your budget, and then as you start to execute your budget, you can see how you're doing plan versus actual and variance. In addition to that, you have the bill of IT, and then this allows you to kind of see the service costing as well. In terms of KPIs, there's 54 of them that are pertaining to finance, project, and portfolio management. And we're not saying you have to start with 54, but there's 54 that you can kind of look through and see which ones match your business strategy. And then as you pick those and start to execute on them, you can set your strategy, and as data starts to flow, you can see how you're doing against your goals and objectives. And then there's a few more as we look at some of these other KPIs. 57 for the application lifecycle management, operations, information, security, and so on. So a lot of information, all packaged in, industry best practices, HP thought leadership, all baked in, so that as you pull your data into the system, you'll be able to do some quick analysis. All right, let's next one. So within the HP Financial Management, some of the key capabilities, what you're looking at is you're seeing one of the opening screens with the scorecard, and then as you go through the scorecard, you're seeing things like CapEx, OpEx, discretionary, non-discretionary, and then how we're doing on our budget, and then it allows you to kind of do some deeper analysis and then kind of dig in. So in this case, we have a view of the IT financial suite. We can do some service-based costing. There's a bill of IT. I talked about the cost explorer. So you can kind of dig in, kind of new costs, create scenarios, and then share those scenarios by email. We're able to pull data from Excel and kind of automate the data collection. And then some of the key benefits are this cost transparency, cost reduction, and better use of IT investment. And then it also helps when you improve your strategy and tactical decisions. All right. Next. And then in addition to that, after you've accumulated this information, you've built your allocation platform. And then one of the key elements to this is being able to look at it from one single pane of glass. And then being able to real-time management by exception. So things are happening, you're able to click one of the icons there, looking for the exceptions, and then it'll filter out the rest and bring to you the exceptions, and then you can quickly dig in and take a look around. Across IT value chains, you can kind of see the impact across various programs and projects and initiatives that are happening. You can see your run rates and then kind of manage to those. And then, of course, out of the box are the actionable best practice KPIs and metrics designed to help you unfold your strategy. Great. Next slide. Now here, this has the, as you look at the IT Financial Management Suite, we're looking at, towards the bottom, how we're able to bring in data from Asset Manager, as well as project and portfolio, so you can get the labor plus the assets. And what we're doing is we're bringing this into an IT data warehouse. And one of the significant value adds is the data model. We have a very powerful data model that's industry and HP thought leadership that can grow as your business grows and modify as your business needs. But it's a good, solid foundation, like a framework of a house. And as that data is accumulated and ready for presentation, the next layer up, as you work from the bottom up, we have the allocation engine, and we have the planning and budgeting. So as you create your budgets and you look at what you want to spend on hardware and labor and programs and projects, and you populate that in, and then the allocation engine will then take that information and you can allocate it out to the business in a couple of ways. You can do by percentage, so 20% to you and 50% to you. You can do what we call the peanut butter spread, where you can select multiple lines of business and then just kind of evenly across them. Or we can do what we call metrics-based allocation. So it's headcount, utilization. There's a number of metrics that you can work with. And then once that information is ready, you can go up to the next layer, and then you can see the results in the dashboard, taking advantage of Cost Explorer, and then there's a number of reports that will let you show you the bill of IT, and then kind of dig into that service decomposition so you can kind of see the pricing. Great. Next slide. And then here we're looking at the picture in the upper left-hand corner is what the allocation financial data. This is a picture of the allocation engine. So you're creating a series of allocations, and then it's showing you the total budget and how much has been allocated. We like to say that as you're building your use case within there, it's kind of like peeling an onion. And as you take a layer off, and you understand where the cost is coming from and where the cost needs to go to, this can be performed here. And then below that, after that's done, this is in the experiment with the Cost Explorer, but then you also have the scorecards and then the different analysis, CapEx, OpEx, discretionary, non-discretionary type of information that allows you to kind of see the bigger picture. And off to the right here, you're looking at the budgeting, which you can set up through a spreadsheet. That's where your budget's out today. this will kind of coach you and guide you and bring all the data together, and then from there you can see historical information. You can allocate it. You can kind of do some digging into the data from the scorecard. Great. Move on to the next. And then here's kind of a bigger picture. You're looking at a series of scorecards. Across the top, you're seeing the finance one up to the right there. And then as you go through different levels of management, you can see the VP of Applications, the VP of Operations, Security, and the PMO. And as we take this financial information coupled with all of their goals and objectives, as they're tied to the company goals, and we're able to cascade through these levels of management and their disciplines and roles and responsibilities to see what's happening, where the money's coming, where the money's going, and what the impact is on the decisions of what you're doing. Great, next slide. And then here we're looking at it from an IT service costing. So from an IT chief financial officer or treasury, or usually there's a finance person that's kind of managing the funds of IT. All the information is rolled up on their scorecard. They can look at programs and projects. They can look at lines of business. They can see all the plan versus actual variance, CapEx, OpEx, and so on. And then from their dashboard, being able to cascade down and then look at it from application services. As you're tracking application, you're looking at service financials, business transactions. You're tracking the financial cost per transaction. Business unit cost. You're showing the calculate and track business units cost allocation. And then cloud. So you can track the various services that you're subscribed to and look at the cost and the pricing from there. Great. Next slide. And then here's an example of cloud where we have the scorecard. It's set up to look at some objectives like improve data privacy, improve velocity, reduce cost, accelerate agility. And as you click on each of those, we're seeing a series of KPIs that are assigned to each of these goals. And then within each KPI, we can see a number of data points. So we can click in, we can see a breakdown, you can see trending history, and then we can also do some collaboration of networks, storage, servers, and applications, automation of compliance and patches, vendor performance, as well as the financial perspective, of both plan or budget versus plan, and then also looking at the availability and service level performance. All important information, all looking on one screen, and then being able to roll it out. Go ahead, next slide. All right, so I think I'll pass back to you, Jen.
Thanks so much, Mark. I appreciate your overview today for everyone concerning HP's IT financial management solution, the overall performance management system for IT, and how financial management and scorecard and overall performance management can really be a differentiator for organizations, help them really achieve their goals and objectives, become a value-added business partner with the business by really highlighting the value of their activities on a day-to-day basis, but also the value of the both financial investments as well as the value of the service that's being delivered as a function of looking at the overall performance related to service against goals and objectives. The next thing here to kind of highlight here, which is going to lead into the introductory demo I'll be providing, is both of these solutions, financial planning analysis and the executive scorecard, are built on the same product, the same platform. They're just different modules based upon role that someone would use within the system. Also, they're both available here from a mobile perspective. So we understand how important it is for executives as they're managing financials or just managing overall performance to be able to manage by walking around, by meeting with their different teams, or if they might be on the road meeting a different department, or maybe they're going on the road to see their cloud services team or data center team that might be located in another region of the country. It's an opportunity to still remain connected with the overall performance of the organization while being on the road. And so I think that's another value-added differentiator here for HP's overall solution. So I've got a kind of a summary here, and then I wanted to jump into the actual demonstration. So from our perspective, for organizations, we're really looking for how do we manage our financial investments in IT, how do we manage our performance. We really need a performance management system, just like the business does on their side, such as the ERP system. But we need something for IT that really helps us aggregate that information together and helps communicate the value that we're providing against the various strategic goals and objectives. We need that single source that's automated, that's pulling in this information from the different data sources so that we can reduce that time and effort that organizations are spending today to get this visibility so they can spend up time and effort to focus on more strategic activities. Also, we need a system that supports multiple data sources. We understand that organizations are going to have HP software to manage IT. We understand they might also have other third-party applications, so it needs to support all data sources. We also understand that some organizations are really looking to do things on-premise internal, but also organizations looking for a SaaS option that's secure and has privacy. We also see the need for quick time to value. How can I quickly get access to a performance management system that allows me to more effectively manage our finances as well as our overall delivery of performance. And at the same time that it's mobile, but it's collaborative. So these are some key characteristics that we feel that make a difference, and we feel also that these are characteristics and differentiators that HP's solution has to offer. So what I'd like to do next is I'm going to go in and provide two quick demonstrations. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually using a terminal emulator here, and I'm just going to give everyone an introductory high-level overview, and I'm going to be using logging in here as if I was on a mobile device, such as an iPad. So I'm going to log in and kind of show you the high-level mobile solution. And then the detailed desktop solution, as you'd expect, has a lot more features and functions, and that's something that we could share with your individual team or organization as a part of a follow-up. So I'm going to log in. So what's interesting here to note is the mobile applications are built on HP Anywhere. It's a mobile device management solution. It provides you that secure access, mobile device management, etc., so that you know that your information is secure. And then on top of that platform, besides what we're looking at today, you'll notice here there's some other solutions that HP has, including other mobile applications. Our focus here today is going to be on financial management, so we're going to want to go in here and look at the financial management mobile solution. So I'm now logged in here to the mobile solution, and I'm going to have a chance to kind of walk you through here briefly on how I can have access to some of my core IT financial information right here on my mobile device. And like I said, we can do a follow-up for a deep dive on the desktop version. Now, one thing I noticed here with the terminal emulator, based on this innovative new portlet view here, it kind of distorts the overall view. So I just wanted to highlight that I can log in and I can look at, if you see in the upper left-hand side here, we're looking at a various business service. I'm looking at a particular fiscal year. And then from there, I have a chance to view the information. So up here on the upper right-hand corner, I'm looking at actual cost by cost category. I'm also looking at cost by discretionary or non-discretionary. So I'm getting that roll-up visibility here, right here within my mobile application. I also then can move across from that perspective. Say if we wanted to look at something different than from a service perspective, if we want to look at things from an organization perspective and keep it here in fiscal year 2012, I can adjust that, and I can have a chance then to go in and look at my overall costs, as well as I can see how we're doing in terms of our overall performance indicator in terms of actual versus planned. So from the administration perspective, I can see our overall costs. We can see where we're trending. We see here we're in the green state, which is also highlighted here in terms of the KPI, and I can see where we're at. Next, I could go look at administrative services. So I can see here my overall cost, but I can also then go in and see my overall key performance indicators from that perspective. Next, then I can also toggle back and forth here on my mobile device and really view that information in different views. So next I could come over and say, you know what, I've kind of looked at it from an organization perspective. What if I wanted to go look at some of our core programs and I wanted to be able to see the overall costs associated with those programs. So here I can come in here and I can look at those individual programs and be able to see similar cost information on a program by program basis. I can also then toggle back over here and look at things from a year-over-year actual versus planned cost perspective. Now, as I mentioned, this is a streamlined version from a mobile app that's really meant for just visibility purposes and overall reporting. But that's what we wanted to accomplish today, was to give you a bird's eye view into the solution from a mobile perspective, and then we could follow up with you and provide a demonstration in more detail. So that's kind of what I wanted to highlight here from an overall financial planning perspective. And then what I wanted to do next was to go in and highlight some of the scorecard that was being provided earlier, or mentioned earlier, by Mark. Now I'm just wondering here. See, I'm going to go back here. So now I come back here to HP Anywhere. I can see the other devices, and I can come in and then show other mobile apps that we have here, but I can also go in and show the Executive Scorecard view of a mobile app and see how we're doing in terms of performance. So I can see here there's other different mobile apps on the HP Anywhere platform, whether I'm managing my applications, whether I'm managing application performance, or over here I'm looking at service health. I can view that information. In this case, if I wanted to come over and look at the actual scorecard view to see how we're doing against goals and objectives, I can bring that information up and view that here in my mobile device as well. So I could actually come over here and look at how are we doing at improving overall customer satisfaction. Another key one in terms of an IT value perspective is how are we doing at aligning with the business. So I could actually come in here and look at how we're doing at CapEx versus OpEx. So that's one of those key financial measures, but in this particular case we're looking at it from a KPI perspective. So I can see an overall achievement of our goal of maximizing our CapEx versus OpEx spending. I can notice here that I'm trending in the positive here in the green realm. I can also then see the associated KPIs that are rolling up into that overall goal and objective, and I can see here that we have our CapEx versus OpEx related to customer relationship management, related to ERP, enterprise resource planning, or I could look at it here from a mail services perspective. So I can really then take one more look and say, well, if I wanted to look at how are we doing from a CRM perspective, I can get information just directly focused in on CapEx versus OpEx spending as it relates to customer relationship management. I can also then come over here and look at more information. So I could look at more information. Let's see, pull that over. I'll skip that because I'm not an expert here on the terminal emulation from my mobile device. But the next thing I can do here is look at and make annotations. So I could say, great job, team. we are maximizing our capital dollars for CRM. Or I can make a comment here that we need to go meet and discuss this particular performance at our next company meeting, or it might be at our next directors meeting. We need to kind of review and see how we can improve the overall performance of CapEx versus OpEx. So it highlights how I can do collaboration. It highlights how I can get access and visibility into key performance indicators all here in my mobile device. Next, I can come up here and look at, from an IT investment perspective, here's some additional financial measures that I can look at. So I could look at what's the overall IT plan of record versus total revenue. That's a good way to benchmark your IT organization against IT organizations in the same market. So that's good. I can also look at what's our overall change in business service costs, or I can look at changes, variances with our actual and planned costs. So why don't I look at that one and then see how we're doing on that particular key performance indicator. So in this example, I didn't drill into the goal and objective. I really was drilling into the variance of actual versus planned costs. And I can see here that we want our variance to be very small, but I can see that we have a 94% variance. So that's very poor. So we're going to want to make sure that we discuss this in our upcoming management meeting. We need to discuss how to improve our estimates and delivery of costs at our upcoming management meeting. So I could make that type of collaboration here and really notify the team that we want to be able to do that. And this is an important item for us to focus in on. So what you're starting to see here, besides the core IT financials and how much dollars we're spending on a program or a service or an IT department, all within the same application on my mobile device, I can also look at some of the critical financial performance indicators as well. So I've got multiple different views. One will be the total dollar amount, and the other being my key financial performance measures. Mark, is there anything that you would like to add or to highlight that I might have missed?
No, you're actually covering all the features quite well.
Okay.
You've been able to click through and show the scorecard, and then as you click within each scorecard, you're seeing the various KPIs, some being financial, like percentage of CapEx and OpEx spending. You've been able to spin the dials on the bottom and maneuver through. I think you've already gone through and hit enter and then kind of got into the explore mode and being able to cover the, you can see that in this case you're seeing the children KPIs and kind of a breakdown of where they're trending, annotations, as well as you're trending across several time periods. And then I think if you click and drag the screen to the left a little bit and in the middle, you'll see some more detail. So if you're dragging it right in the middle and just click and hold, like above annotation right in the center there. And then just click and hold, and you'll see that there's another screen to the right, which kind of gives you the the description, the owner, and then how this particular threshold is calculated. In this case, it's pets of children, and it's a monthly type of calculation. Yeah, so I think you've pretty much covered core features and functionality of the mobile.
Thank you so much, Mark. One of the things just to highlight, and this kind of goes back to how we started the presentation, I'd like to kind of just end the demonstration here on this view. We talked about up front how important it is, and the goal and objective of IT and finance is to really highlight the value of the IT investments that the business is making. So here's one of those key indicators to highlight the value ranking overall. So out of a score of 1 to 10, right now the organization is providing significant value, 9 out of 10 to the overall organization. However, we can see that there's some areas for us to improve. We can see how well we're doing from an industry perspective on IT costs versus revenue. We could look at the variance and actuals. We can look at the average cost of delivery per customer. So we could look at some of those items, but we can also see some interesting, percent of project budgets at risk. So those are some other areas that we could drill into and look at how we're doing with our project budgets at risk. So this is one of those leading indicators from a balanced scorecard perspective, where we can take that whole stewardship of IT investment and value we're providing and recognize it looks like our risk level is growing. So from a management perspective and even from an executive perspective, we probably need to look at our strategic projects at our upcoming project review or portfolio management meeting to really look at what's driving that increased risk, because we know that could impact our overall delivery of value to the organization as we continue to monitor the value that we're providing both from a financial perspective as well as from a performance perspective. So just kind of want to end on that particular point from an overall demo. So what I wanted to do next was part of our agenda was provide a little bit in terms of the different options for the solution and how you can utilize it within your organization. So as you'd expect, you can utilize the solution by purchasing the licenses that you'd own from a perpetual perspective, and then you'd be able to install that software internally on your internal environments. We're also seeing organizations with the continued interest in cloud and SaaS wanting to have that ability to really focus in their area of expertise and leaving the heavy lifting from the hardware, software, and hosting perspective to the overall providers. So we partner with HP and we provide a SaaS solution for the scorecard and the financial management solution as ResultsPositive. This way you can free up your organization, really focus in on getting that visibility, bringing in that information, and being able to improve overall performance by tapping into our SaaS offering. Just to kind of highlight at a high level our different offerings, we have our basic SaaS offering, and this offering provides organizations access to all the different capabilities in the solution, so both from a financial planning as well as from a scorecard perspective, and it gives organizations a key production environment. So in this case, you get one production and manage all of your performance indicators. The advantage here by tapping into the HP solution, as we mentioned up front, is I'm not going to have those headaches, spend an extra time and effort trying to pull the information together and create a view of how well we're doing in terms of our overall finances or even performance in general. So that's our basic SaaS offering. Our advanced SaaS offering is built on top of the basic offering, and it also then includes HP Anywhere and access to the different mobile devices that we're highlighting today. And so that way you have access to the core system, but also then you have access to the mobile applications and be able to manage your performance and finances while walking around or while visiting your different office locations. The Premier SaaS offering builds upon the advanced offering. So here you get your production environment, and as well as you get the access to the mobile applications, and then you also get a development environment. It's an environment where you can go in and create new different KPIs, or an environment where you can go and create new type of integrations with other data sources and test that out before putting that into production. So it gives you multiple tiers from a SaaS offering perspective based upon your current budget and based upon your goals and objectives. From a pricing perspective, we've set up our monthly SaaS subscription pricing. So based upon the number of users that you're looking to have, these will be the pricing for the different offerings. So from basic, advanced, and premier, based upon the number of users, would drive a price per user, and this is based upon the commitment for a 1-year SaaS offering. So you would take the number of users times the monthly fee, and that would be your monthly amount, or you could pay that all up front as an annual fee. Also, for customers that are looking for kind of purchasing their own perpetual licenses and eventually bringing it in-house, say if you wanted a quick start to have someone else host it for you for the first year or so and then bring it back in-house, we have customers that like to do that, so they can limit their amount of organizational change up front, but then bring it back in-house later. Here's the offering that we can really provide you with the hosting services on your perpetual licenses, and then you can bring that back in-house at a later time. And these particular prices here are for annual prices. So overall, we feel from a SaaS perspective, you really can focus on your response, and then we'll be able to provide from a SaaS perspective, provide you with high performance system availability to really increase your overall productivity of your team, provide that availability and reliability that you're looking for, as well as streamline the amount of effort you need to take as a part of your initiative around IT financial management, thereby freeing up time to focus on organizational adoption, as well as then being able to reduce your risks around compliance through a secure and privacy environment here from a SaaS perspective. So at a high level, that's an overview of our SaaS offering. We can definitely provide more details with your specific organization as part of a follow-up. So in summary, one thing that we specialize in here at Results Positive is really helping our customers, our business partners, and our employees make a difference every day. We feel that by partnering together with HP's software, their IT performance management suite, and Results Positive, you can start making a difference today. You can start maximizing investment of your company funds to really drive additional benefit and value to your organization. Why Results Positive? Just for those of you that might not know Results Positive, we've been a business partner with HP over the last 8 years, and we were recently recognized as the Executive Scorecard Partner of the Year in 2012. We're also Partner of the Year in 2010 and 2011. We're an elite business partner, so we can resell HP software as well as support the implementation. We're one of the few partners that are certified to provide Tier 1 support. So if that's something that you're looking at, we can provide that service for you. And then here in this specific space around overall financial reporting, business analytics, as well as performance, we have a dedicated business intelligence team focused in on providing these services that you can tap into and take advantage of their expertise.